What's going on YouTube? John here. Thank you for joining the next episode of Blue Carbon Reefing. Want to do a 5 to 10 minute update on some of the changes that has happened over the course of the last few months with the system. So I'm going to do this again, kind of mostly unedited, kind of a flyby. I'm going to start downstairs with just what's going on with the fish room. That's where the most amount of changes has happened. Still dealing with the dinos, but we definitely have, I would say, 90% of it gone. So still working on what I can. I will kind of give you an update with that in a different episode. So today, just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with the fish room downstairs. So first and foremost, I have expanded my ability to hold on to corals. So originally I just had this frag tank here, which I would say is maybe 70 to 80 gallons worth of water volume. It's about 4 foot by 2 foot by about 15 inches tall. And I have decided to convert. I had these two Rubbermaid containers. I have 110 in the back and 150 in the front. And originally the 150 is where I had the refugium light and the refugium going on, and then the other one was unlit with just live rock in it. So I decided to convert the 110 in the back to the new refugium, which is still a lot of space. It's still maybe just under 10% of the total water volume, but it's definitely up there as far as the size that I need to keep the nutrients down. And then I wanted, obviously, a much bigger space for expanding and having a lot of different corals. So for the most part, most of my LPS and other things that I have, now I had the lights off, so some of these things are still opening up, but your hammers, torches, things like that, zoanthids, chalices, Raja, Rampage. I have a few SPS in here, obviously Anacropora, Monopora, Duncan's in the back. There are candy cane corals, more zoanthids. I have a few SPS in here that I have some duplicates from. I'm kind of doing a little bit of an experiment with some red planet. But for the most part, I have now converted this 150 gallon Rubbermaid tub to a secondary frag tank, and I have a lot more room, as you can see. I have traded in some coral and stuff to my local fish store, which I really appreciate, obviously, being able to do. And I did pick up another Ocean Revive to eventually, possibly, hang over this frag tank, since this is about 5 feet long and I only have 2 Ocean Revives sitting over it. So possibly what I might do is turn them sideways and then add a third one, so I have 1, 2, and 3, just to take more light or have more light over this. For the most part, I've kind of had some of the ones that maybe require a little bit less power on the outskirts, but you can definitely tell that it's quite dim on the outer edges of this. So haven't taken any par ratings, but I will. I know some of the things might do better in low par, so for right now, things are okay. As far as the refugium, let's come around this way. As far as the refugium is concerned, this is 110 gallons. It actually is pretty well packed, but I actually have been selling Chaeto now on eBay. So if you do want some Chaeto, check me out on eBay. It is Blue Carbon Reefing without the G at the end. That's what eBay made me do. So been actually selling quite a bit of Chaeto on eBay. So I wouldn't say we're dwindling, but my nitrates are near zero, and my phosphates are also near zero. So I'm actually dosing just a little bit to keep some in the system. All the corals look great, so obviously that part is working. But if I want to grow more Chaeto, I can obviously dose a little heavy, a little extra. So as far as the downstairs go, that's pretty much it. I have added if you are following me on Instagram, I am definitely posting pictures on Instagram almost daily, but I've added quite a bit of, I would call, high-end or name brand SBS things going on here. Just to name a few, we have a Jason Fox home wrecker right there, Jason Fox Tierra del Fuego. This is the Ultimate Corals, Pikachu, obviously some of your classics, bubblegum digi, monoporous stellata, things like that. So I'm going to probably create a new frag rack for this. I have so much SPS and things that are growing all over the frag rack. I really want to clean this up, make some more frags of things. I've really like to maybe use the 3-inch frag plugs now for like kind of the mother colony. So if I only have one of the colony, I'm going to probably put it on a much bigger, frag plug, so it can obviously grow out and have multiple branches, especially with the SPS. I feel like that does really well, for example, with the Jason Fox Flame. As you can see, it is doing very well, and I'm not probably going to be able to get good coloration here, but it is really obviously starting to take off as far as your core lights that are going on here. I've even actually fragged it a few times. That's what these cuts are in the middle. So as far as downstairs, a couple things that I have done or changed. I'm only running one skimmer at a time since my nitrates are near 0. So I kept this and I didn't clean it out because I wanted to show you I'm getting nice, thick, dark skim mate, which is exactly what I want. But I will clean this one, and then this one I just turned on earlier today, and you can see it's already getting a good amount of skim mate in it. So just because my nitrates are near 0, I'm only going to be running one protein skimmer at a time until I see that maybe nitrates start to be a problem or something like that. I am cleaning my filter stock starts right now, which is why there's only a couple in there that I had that were clean. I normally have 15 or 20 that I kind of rotate and I clean them, but I was a little bit lazy, didn't clean them all, but obviously we'll get back on that. Other than that, let me show you a couple other things downstairs. Let's flip this around real quick. I did start a, wow, let's turn this down. I did start a 29-gallon BioCube, which right now I was basically trying to use it as a project. Again, the company GrowStar reached out to me to try out one of their other lights. This one is kind of more of just a white spectrum. So I figured a good project would be mangroves. I did buy some mangroves off of eBay. I got 6 of them, and they had 5 days worth of shipping, and I don't think that they're alive. I am not seeing any root growth. They're actually starting to turn a little black, which to me is these things are dead. I do have a couple of fish in there. There were 3 of these cardinal fish bang guys, but now there are 2. And I have a feeling that it has nothing to do with the water parameters, but maybe the 2 of them are kind of pairing up and they singled out the 3rd guy, and that's why he didn't make it. As far as quarantine goes, I have the coral quarantine, which I actually do have a fish in here, which as you can see is a mandarin. Always wanted one. I am keeping them here in coral quarantine because really the only thing I have left in coral quarantine is this Alveopora, which actually just really likes it there, which is why I'm keeping it there. So I'm going to figure out a way, and I've actually kind of already started this, to kind of create a pod hotel, put that in the refugium, and then be able to take some of those pods over to this system and continuously feed this guy, at least for a while, until I'm confident that I can put him in the main system upstairs, where he'll have the ability to have a steady, constant, diet of copepods and stuff like that. He is feeding off of frozen brine shrimp right now, so as long as I can keep that up, he should be good anyways. I've been adding a lot of fish, so I have taken a few different rounds of fish upstairs into the display. Right now, in the current quarantine, are only 2 fish. I actually picked up at my local pet store that is actually one of the new stores that are actually now have saltwater there. So I know pet stores get a bad rap, but these fish were in really good shape, really good prices. So there's a clown tang in here, which I know will eventually be a jerk. I already evicted my Sohal tang to the secondary frag tank downstairs, but I can't resist this fish. It's such a beautiful fish, and I only have 2 other acanthus, which is a orange shoulder upstairs and we'll call him a mimic tang. He's right now still in the juvenile state, but so I think this guy won't really mess with them too much, especially if I add him last. So we're gonna try it out and see. Every fish has its own personality, so we'll kind of figure out how that works. And then there is a cleaner goby in here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see him. There he is. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get a good picture of them, but essentially those 2 little fish are in there right now that we're going to try to, run through quarantine. Again, I'm just adding fish because everything is going well. I am trying to keep a constant fish population to make sure that they're a constant source of ammonia that will get converted into a constant source of nitrates, so the corals do well. So it works until I start to see that I have some kind of a nitrate problem or something like that. As long as I can, keep that husbandry in good shape and I don't see any fish death or any kind of aggression, things like that, I'm going to keep adding fish. I have a pretty big main system, and I think I have 23 fish upstairs maybe, and that's not a terrible amount. I obviously have quite a bit of larger fish like tangs, which will get pretty big, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, it's been 11 minutes. I'm going to kind of cut things off here. I will do an update of the upstairs, but again, I just wanted to do a quick 5-10 minute, which is always going over that because I talk too much. But since we are now exceeding 11 minutes, I'm going to kind of end the video here. I will give you guys an update in a future episode of the main display. There's been a number of changes probably since my last video, especially when it comes to lighting and some of the livestock. So stay tuned. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you like what you see, consider subscribing. I highly suggest that you do. I will have a few more episodes coming out very shortly on the entire system, and I will go back and do a few of the fish spotlights, which I think that a lot of you guys have liked quite a bit. So if there are any fish that you'd like to see for that, let me know. For the most part, I'm trying to keep it to fish I actually have. Obviously makes it a little bit easier to film when I have my own fish here to be able to do that. So if there's something that that I haven't done a spotlight on, let me know. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one. Happy reefing.